All right, guys, my name is Blake Clark, and I am the designated broker of Limitless Real Estate and the team lead of the Clark team. Today, I wanted to make a quick video for some of you guys that are starting to get into the real estate business. And in all honesty, this video could probably go right along with those of you guys that are looking to really get into any business and start out kind of new, and maybe you're just not sure where to go when it comes to really building a brand around yourself and marketing. This is something that I've worked really hard at over my years of learning marketing. I went to school, got a degree in business management. I also took a ton of marketing classes, as it's always something that has caught my attention. Kind of with my background in sales, marketing goes right along with that. So it's something I've taken a lot of pride in as far as branding and building a brand. And I think for those of you guys that follow myself and my team, you guys will probably notice that with something that we do excel at and something that we work extremely hard at. With that being said, I get a lot of messages from people, DMs, calls, texts, emails, people asking to meet up, coffee, even newer people that come in and interview for my team. And the question goes something like this. They want me to sit down and tell them what they need to be doing from a marketing standpoint, or maybe they see what I'm doing and they want to emulate some of that. And it goes as far as, we see a ton of people on social media kind of taking a lot of what we do and starting to replicate it and copy it on their own. Here's the thing, guys. If you are constantly going around and trying to look at what other people are doing and you're trying to copy their marketing style, and you're trying to emulate them and do things the exact way that they are doing things, I think that you're really selling yourself short and you're leaving a lot of new ideas and opportunities on the table for yourself. There's one thing that comes into business, and that is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. This is something I've always stood by. There's always going to be the core basic fundamentals of business that you get into. That's going to be to know your product well, know your service well, constantly improve, provide great customer service, be great at branding, be great at marketing, and all the things that come along with that and all the hats that you may wear as a business owner. But the one thing that I see people constantly mess up and get wrong all the time is the ability to think for themselves and try new things and their willingness to fail when it comes to marketing. Like I said, so many people focus on people like me or focus on people that other people that they follow in business, and they try to emulate what it is that they do. And what you guys don't understand is what works for me very well may not work for you. Who's going to be me better than me? Me. Who's going to be you better than you? And I think a lot of people sell that concept really short, and I think they sell themselves short when they don't have the ability to really just put themselves out there and find out what works best for them with their own personal experiences and their own marketing style. When people come to my team and they look for mentorship and they look for ways to learn, one of the first questions they ask is, what do I need to be doing for marketing? This is a great question to ask, and I know it's something that a lot of people do ask when they get into business. They're kind of getting their day started, they're looking at where to start, they're looking at what to do, what's the very first activity I need to start doing. And in most cases, it is gonna be marketing, putting yourself out there. That was one of the things that I did right from the gate, was put a heavy emphasis on marketing. With that being said, there's people in this business that have been doing it far longer than I have. These are people that mentor me, coach me, teach me. They've got, years and years of experience more than I do. However, the one thing that I can do better than them is market. I can put myself in front of them. I can share information. I can share knowledge. I can build a network, and I can share data quicker and more efficiently than they can, which has allowed me to scale faster than them. But that doesn't shortchange the knowledge that they have and mean that they're any better at what they do. Those people are extremely intelligent in what they do. And admittedly, a handful of them are probably better at this than I am because they've been doing it for so much longer. They just have that much more experience. If they simply took the ability and willingness to market themselves a little more and find their own unique style and put it out there, they'd probably be absolute powerhouses, to be honest with you. But like I said, back to what we're talking about today, I think that more people need to put a willingness into finding their own style and their willingness to fail. I'll share a story with you guys. When I first got into the real estate business, I was working for a broker that was extremely knowledgeable, really good, solid guy, taught me a ton. In all honesty, if it weren't for him, I probably most definitely wouldn't be where I am today. He had been in the business 20 plus years at that time, had a ton of experience, had already built out his network, his pipeline. And, I remember sitting down at the table and talking to him and asking him, what do I do for marketing? And there was such a big disconnect from where he was to where I was as a brand new agent that it was really hard to close that gap for myself. You know, one of his pieces of advice to me were to send mailers out, right? Maybe go out and do a little bit of door knocking. And then other than that, it was just good old patience and making maybe some phone calls, you know. And, you know, I took some of his advice to heart. You know, I went out and did the mailers, did that, you know, things just weren't moving quick enough for me, and it frustrated me in a way. You know, and secondly, he had built up his business and his database, you know, in his book of business for years. He was also much older than I was, so his demographic and circle and clientele that he worked with were much different than who I was working with in my 20s when I first started into the business. So I would ask, you know, hey, can I market some of your houses? Can I put some of this, you know, content out that you know, the listings that you have out there, and let me try that. So I did that repeatedly for 6 months, and I didn't gain a whole lot of traction. And I couldn't figure out why until one day I sat down, you know, and I was doing my marketing. I was putting some posts up on Facebook and Instagram, and it kind of clicked to me one day. You know, a lot of the houses that he was selling at that time, again, mind you, he'd been in the business for 20 years. You know, so the people that he worked with were probably a little more established at the time than the people that I was working with and the people that I had known in my 20s at that time. You know, so I'm putting these homes, which at that time were $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, which were, you know, pretty high-end price points, especially for me in my 20s, putting these up there. And most of the people that follow me on social media, guess what? They probably weren't going to be buying homes like that. And it took me 5, 6, 7 months to really figure this out. So it wasn't that I wasn't taking the actions. It wasn't that I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing. The problem with that was that I was trying to emulate too much of what he was doing towards his clientele and towards, you know, somebody that had been in the business for such a long time. I was basically going after his marketing techniques, going after his price points, trying to do everything that he was doing because he was extremely successful. What I was missing was that I was missing that timepiece in the business. I wasn't giving myself enough time to work up to that price point, that type of clientele. At that time in my early 20s, the majority of my clientele were first-time home buyers. You know, they were, or maybe they owned a home, but they weren't quite up at that price point. So it clicked for me one day. I'm putting these houses out in front of everybody. I'm marketing these homes in front of people that know me, that while they are awesome homes, while I was getting great feedback, you know, they couldn't afford those homes at that point. They weren't that far in their life and their careers to basically afford budgets to purchase homes of that nature. So I tried something a little bit different, right? I switched up my marketing a little bit. I said, you know, let me put product in front of the potential clients and customers that I have that is something that is realistic for them, that they could actually afford, and something that I can truly bring value to them. So I brought my price points down of the home that I was marketing. And again, this is getting the right product in front of the right customer. This is just basic sales and marketing that I totally missed right out the gate when I first got into the business. So I brought my price points down. I started targeting that $250,000 at the time up to $400K price point, kind of where the average home medium income buyer was going to be at. And guess what? I started getting sales. I started putting the right homes in front of the right people, and the right people were the people that were following and knew me personally. As soon as I figured that out and I started tweaking my marketing a little bit, things really started to take off for me. And that's something that's always stuck with me, is the importance of understanding your audience and understanding who you are. So for example, if you're getting into the business and you know you've built this long group of network, these group of friends, the people that know you, the people that trust you, and you are trying to market a product or a home or trying to market yourself very differently, and you're not showing up the same way that these people know you, you're probably going to have a really hard time marketing to that manner. If you try to get into the business brand new and you're trying to emulate and do the same systems and processes that I am doing now 7 years into my business with the experience that I have, it's probably not going to work as well for you. Again, there's always going to be those core fundamentals that you guys have heard me talk about time and time again. That's going to be the consistency. You got to do the same things over and over again. You got to put in the work every single day. You got to do it, like I said, regardless whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it. And you got to make sure you're putting the right product in front of the right customers. You know, and also be comfortable with who you are. You know, I see this all the time. You know, we all know these people. You guys probably follow a ton of people on the internet. You guys probably know this. You guys got those friends and family that you know on like a very personal level. You know who they are. You know what their personality is. You know what their thought process is. And then you see them go to launch a business, or you see them get into a new business and start, and then you know how they're showing up to the general public isn't really who they are. And that's probably one of the worst things and worst positions that you can be in as an individual getting into any form of business, in my opinion, because the people that know you closely and the people that know you best and the people that trust you are most likely going to be the first people that are going to use your business as you get into it. You know, this is what I'm talking about when you guys hear me say the constant pursuit of always improving yourself as well. You know, you're always looking for those shortcomings, you're always looking to progress, and you're always looking to get better at what it is that you do. If you are constantly going around and you're trying to emulate what other people are doing, if you see this person over here marketing a certain way and you're doing it exactly the same way they are, the same exact message, copying the same exact text that they're doing, guess what, guys? You're only going to be as good as that person. You're never going to give yourself the opportunity to be better than them because maybe you possess a certain skill set, or maybe you possess a certain trait, or maybe you would resonate a little better with your audience than this person would, but because you're so busy over here trying to copy what this person is doing and trying to emulate what they're doing, and you're so afraid of trying new things that work well for you, you know, it's gonna really hinder you. It's gonna hold you back. It's gonna slow you down. I'm such a huge proponent, you know, with the people that are on my team that I coach, you know, I give them the core fundamentals. You know, we all are very consistent in what we do. But if you follow the people on my team, I'm really big on them being original. You know, I'm really big on them marketing to and, you know, really being relatable to the people that know them on a very personal level. You know, we're all different people. We're all into different things. We're all into different hobbies. We're all different ages. We all run with a different group of friends. You know, so with that being said, we all got different personalities too. That doesn't mean that we can't take some of the core concepts and utilize those towards our marketing. But are we really showing up for those that know us if we're trying to copy and do the same things that everybody else is doing? So this is gonna be my tip to you guys that are looking to get into the business. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to be original. For those of you guys that are getting into the real estate business, for example, there's a ton of great agents out there that are really, really good at marketing. It's, like I said, if you guys get on social media, you guys get on Instagram, you guys probably follow a few of these people. And I can recognize it because it's something I put such a heavy focus on. And there are a few other agents in this industry that I give a lot of respect to because they stay true to who they are and their personalities. They come across as very authentic for who they are. You know, for example, when I got into the business, I was that guy that was wearing the suit, the tie, the nice hair comb over. If you guys look at my first headshot, by the way. You know, it's just, but the thing was that the people that I am around, the people I hang around with, you know, that's not who I showed up. I wasn't that guy that typically wore a suit every day. You know, I'm the guy that wears the nice flat bill. I like to wear the Converse Chuck Taylors, but I'm really good at business, and I built a brand around myself as being that guy. You know, we stay pretty consistent with marketing. We stay consistent with branding. You know, the same thing goes for the clientele that you guys are trying to build up as you get into any kind of business, right? I see so many people come in and they just throw a net out. You know, they're going for anything from that very first home buyer all the way up to, you know, trying to capture multi-million-dollar homes. They don't know what the heck they're doing. And if you pay attention to the agents that do really well in this business, you're gonna find that they cater to a certain demographic because they're really good, they're really relatable to that demographic or clientele that they work with, and that's a majority of who they're gonna be doing work with. You know, again, back to who it was. For example, when I very first started in this business, not a lot of my friends at the time were homeowners, right? They were still in their 20s, they were still getting things figured out, they were still building up that income, they were still building up their careers. You know, so a lot of my friends at the time were in first-time home buyers. Like I said, this was into my 20s, and they were looking to take that step from buying their first home, you know, and getting out of the rental market. You know, as things have progressed, as I've gotten a little bit older, as my group of friends have gotten a little bit older, my demographic has gotten older, my repeat clientele has gotten older, you know, my demographic and my primary customer these days has shifted a little bit. I spend a lot of time with clients that currently own homes that are looking to capture as much equity out of that and purchase into another home to upgrade. I also deal with a lot of clients that are looking to get into investment properties because that's something that I do and something that I basically specialize in at this point in my career because I'm an active investor myself, so I have knowledge to share on that particular topic. again, you got to specialize in what it is that you're looking to do. And I don't mean go crazy hyper specialized, but you really need to get in touch with who your ideal customer is, who your ideal client is, somebody that you're really relatable to, and someone that you can bring value to. If your value proposition is, I'm going to show up and I'm going to open a door for you, or I'm going to sell you this widget, or I'm going to provide this service, and that's it, and you don't have any true value on your own, you can't offer any experience, you can't offer any true advice, there's no individuality to you, you're not comfortable with who you are as an individual to go out there and market to them, and you can't build that trust because they don't believe who you're showing up is who you truly are, you're going to miss the bus every time, guys. You got to really put a heavy focus on this. So hopefully this brings a little bit of value to you guys. Like I said, I wanted to drop this because I get a lot of messages around this, and it's a super common question. I think everybody wants to know what to do when it comes to marketing. Guys, find out who your ideal customer is, show up who you are, in moderation, obviously. There's probably some things that shouldn't be put out there, but show up who you are. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like I said, get in tune with who you are and test different aspects of marketing and different ways that you can get your message out for your value proposition and see what works. Because again, what I do may not work for you. What you do most likely may not work for me. There are some core fundamentals that are going to cross over when it comes to marketing, but you got to really focus on being your own unique self and not doing the same exact thing that other people are doing. Because if you're doing that, you're going to show up and be no better than them. At best, you're going to be the same as them. You're never going to put yourself in a position to be better than them. So that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully this was helpful for some of you guys looking to get into either real estate or a new business. As always, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'd love for you guys to drop them down in the comments section. Shoot me a DM. I'm always happy to answer any questions for you guys as well. And as always, guys, get out there, crush it.